Welcome to the North Shore 9 Podcast, episode number 126. I am Ryan Alexander. Along with you, as always, is Anthony DiNardo. DiNardo, what up?
Same old Ryan. You know, nothing new. Actually, I just got done doing a podcast segment with Joey Bag of Donuts on the Donut Podcast.
The Donut Podcast.
The Donut Bag.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It went well. Definitely give it a listen. If you haven't, I'm sure you know who Joey Bag of Donuts is. And yes, he does have a podcast called The Donut Bag. So go give it a listen. And I don't know, for some unknown reason, he asked the North Shore 9 to be on there. So
What the hell's the matter with him?
I don't know. What an idiot.
Yeah, I was disappointed I wasn't able to make it. I was traveling today as I went to Michigan this weekend to watch Michigan State get basically shut down in the rain to Michigan. So that was fun.
There you go. How'd that go, Ryan?
It was good. It was a good time. I used to live up there, so it's kind of like my annual trek back to see a game, and it was good. It was, the game was suspended for 40 minutes, and then it started raining. Then it was hailing by the end of the game. Yeah, it was interesting. So it was, this is why I usually go to games in September, but I wasn't able to do it. So October happened, and of course, weather happened as well. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it really that cold already? But I guess it is, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just skipped fall, and we went right into winter, I think.
Yeah, apparently you guys did.
So,
well, I'll tell you what, it was a brisk 69 degrees today when I was driving at
nice
6 p.m., so
nice.
It's definitely feeling some of that fall weather here.
There you go. 69.
Why is it not in the 80s?
Unbelievable.
This is a catastrophe.
I know. What are you going to do?
I don't know.
So I know something that's going on that's pretty exciting to talk about.
What's that?
How about the North Shore 9 and DiNardo's dugout in the Around the 412 Fantasy Football League?
What? Are we cleaning up?
We're smoking some fools.
I know one fool that's getting smoked. Regis Ryan.
Yes, and I beat him last week, and I didn't just beat him. I beat him by like 30 or 40. And then I believe you're beating him up pretty good this week too.
Oh yeah, I'm wrecking him. Let me get to the Around the 4-1. The 4-1-12, as Geddes likes to say. The 4-1-2 the league. Okay, so I am up 124-65. Ugh.
Wow.
And he does have Coleman left, so maybe Coleman can get about 65 more points.
The Youngstown Boys. What a name by Regis. Like I said, I beat Regis last week. And this week I am, speaking of Geddes, I'm smoking Geddes 120-77.
Ugh.
Geddes' team is terrible, by the way.
Oh.
He had Bortles. Bortles got him 1.44 and then got benched.
I was going to say, I mean, look at his quarterback.
That's my quarterback. I mean, how do you roster? He had Winston on his bench, which Winston, was suspended for the beginning of the season. But how do you roster Bortles? I mean, I know he's a Jags fan, but
I feel like maybe he's not paid attention to the league. Maybe.
I mean,
maybe. I mean, was he sly enough to know Melvin Gordon should go to the bench?
Well,
what was his roster last week?
That's a good question, because I was going to say,
Melvin did start.
He did bench Melvin Gordon, so yeah, so he's been active.
All right.
So
I was trying to give my super producer a way out, but never mind.
No, he started the Jags.
Just sucks.
He started the
and
Jags.
This is the guy
defense.
you said that drafted my team last year. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
exactly. It seemed like the good narrative at the time.
Hot garbage was all me.
He started the Jags defense, which, that's understandable. I can see that. But Blake Bortles? Nah. But, yeah, there you go. So, now he's had some injuries. Ingram, Melvin Gordon, which, just this week. But, yeah, this team's not very good.
Reminds me of the Dolphins.
We're cleaning up.
Yep.
There you go. We're making a
shout
showing.
Out to Around the 412 in their trash-ass league.
That's right. I think I beat Herb a couple weeks ago, too, but whatever. Anyway, we're going to win the whole dang thing. It's going to be North Shore 9, DiNardo's dugout in the final.
There you go. North Shore 9 winning because DiNardo's dugout doesn't exist anymore.
I was going to say, is this the swan song for
There you go.
For DiNardo's dugout, their last fantasy appearance.
R.I.P. DiNardo's dugout and goes and wins a fantasy league.
Now you could keep it because you guys are coming back at some point, right? It was just
maybe
a hiatus,
right?
Just
maybe
a hiatus.
I don't know.
What do you mean maybe? You told me it was a hiatus.
Maybe not. I don't know. What do y'all want?
I'd like it to come back. I never wanted it to go
All right.
anywhere. So, but I'm not all the people.
Anyway.
Yeah, so what do you think about the since we last talked, we have a World Series matchup set.
So I told you how I don't have a dog, in the fight, obviously. So right. I'm just ready for good baseball. Well, did you expect the Astros to just get manhandled like that?
No, but I'll tell you what, it was an exciting series, albeit 5 games. And then the Dodgers and Brewers series, we got to bring that up for a little bit too. Some of the things the council did. But so I found myself, and I mentioned this last week, I found that myself rooting for the Red Sox in that series. And I mean, who the hell roots for the Red Sox? That's not a Red Sox fan. So I think it was the public reception, and everybody was, the Red Sox won 108 games, but everybody basically had said it was the Astros are going to repeat. They're going to this, the series again. They're going to win it.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that way.
I think that's what turned me on to the Red Sox. It's like the, I want to go opposite of what everyone else, the contrarian pick. So I actually was enjoying the Red Sox taking out the Astros. So, I mean, it's not like people, you could say what you will about the Astros. They're still not a small market. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, they're
Houston's
not. What are they,
huge,
the 4th largest market, I think, in the U.S.?
Right. And now, obviously the Astros
Once
are
the
talented.
largest city in America.
They're talented.
Took it over.
They won last year. They have a young core that's great. They added the pitching with Cole and Verlander and Morton, and they're all pitching. They were all pitching great. But I mean, and I got to know on Twitter about this too with some people. The Red Sox and Dodgers, it's the big markets, but we've talked about this for the past year or so. Those teams aren't really constructed like the big markets. A lot, like the Dodgers payroll. A lot of that payroll that's it's all money on guys that aren't even there, like Carl Crawford.
Yeah, the Red Sox.
Right. Carl Crawford,
the reason that the
Adrian
Dodgers
Gonzalez.
are playing the Red Sox right now is because the Red Sox got bailed out by the Dodgers.
It's very true. That's hilarious, actually. But that's what I mean. Most of that money that's under contract, under payroll, those guys aren't even there. So most of the, Benintendi, Devers, Betts, these guys are homegrown guys. Even Chris Sale was, they traded for him. They traded or, basically drafted or international free agent. They've signed all these guys. I mean, not signed all these guys. They've drafted them and they've developed them and whatever, or acquired them by trade. And the Dodgers, the same way. I mean, look, the Dodgers, one of their pickups off the scrap heap was was Muncy, and he's killing it. So it's he wasn't even a big free agent signing. So, I'm gonna enjoy the World Series. I think it's gonna be a good matchup. Yes, is it 2 big markets against each other? Yes, but like you've said before, it basically the big markets allow teams to make mistakes and to spend unwisely. And I think teams are finally starting to get smarter, and you even see that with the Red Sox and Dodgers. So I credit is where credit's due. Now, so they have other advantages that they can use and wash some bad signings away, but they definitely they both have built a pretty good core.
True. And, I'm with you on the fact that I'm going to watch it. I mean, it's a dynamic series. It's the World Series, obviously, so I'm going to watch it. How about Mookie Betts possibly playing second base?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well, I mean, it makes sense. That they are going to go into the NL. They want to make sure JD's back gets in there, so they're going to place him in the outfield, which means Mookie's going to go to second. I mean, think about that. He hasn't played that in 4 years, which, I mean, that's the position he's known. He's played second base basically all his life, and then he got moved to the outfield because of Pedroia, and now he's going back to second. So I'm intrigued by that. I want to see how this works out. But I'm with you. The big market. Well, I should say the small markets found a way around things, right?
Right.
And now the big markets have copied it, mimicked it, and that's what you're seeing. back in the day, it was nothing for the Yankees to give up a prospect. The Dodgers give up a prospect. Like, it's just a prospect. This is a known commodity. Let's go and get them. Let's go sign this big-time free agent. Let's spend all this money. And now they're seeing that there's actually value in some of these guys. That's why you have Benintendi there. It's why you have those were guys that were untouchable. You never heard that from, most of the big markets. Prospects that was untouchable.
Right.
Now you do. And now they're building around them. Sure, they're still spending money, but it's other methods. Now, what I do want to say, though, Ryan, is the Dodgers and the Red Sox were big players in the international market. A lot of the money went there. I mean, that's something that small markets couldn't do. So, they did exploit that. That's the reason why that.
Now it has changed. Right.
Right. And I was going to say, that's why the Marlins were able to get Victor Mesa and Victor Jr. because now there's like a cap and they traded all these people to get $6 million to do it. $6 million is nothing back in the day.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm on board that they're playing the small market game, but then, right, they have the resources to go out there and do other things that the small markets can't do, which is bailing out an entire organization.
Yeah, and so I tweeted this picture out. I don't think to everybody, but it was in one of our conversations with Bloop and a Blast. But it was basically how each roster was built of all the playoff teams. And so you mentioned about that, which international free agents. The Dodgers have 5 of them on this playoff roster, and the Red Sox actually have just 2. The draft, 11 by the Dodgers, 10 by the Red Sox. Trade, Rule 5, or a waiver pickup. 12 of the guys on the Dodgers roster was that way, and 11 for the Red Sox. And then free agents, DiNardo, the Dodgers just 2, and the Red Sox have 4. So, I think the most free agents on any playoff roster was actually the Oakland A's, which go figure. The Yankees only had 3. The Astros only had 3, which the Astros pretty much drafted or traded for theirs. And, that's that. So, and the Braves and Rockies each had 6 free agents. So, we're seeing a shift. And now, I'm not saying that that's going to, teams aren't going to go after Harper and Machado and things like that. But, teams aren't just going I think back to the Yankees team. Even the Yankees teams in the early 2000s, they had Jeter, they had Bernie Williams, they had Mariano Rivera. These were homegrown guys. But they also had a ton of free agents that they could go. So they could go get A-Rod at $30 million. They could go get pretty much whoever they wanted to. So
true. Yeah, no, I'm definitely liking that. Like you said, not a whole lot of free agents. But in the same sense, I feel that this upcoming free agent market is part of the reason. Especially the cap reasons now, the penalties that are involved. Going over that threshold, I think the teams wised up. They saw that, just spending money doesn't equal wins, of course. So, they are wising up. At the same sense, they want to make sure they have the money for this upcoming offseason because there is Manny Machado. There is Bryce Harper. There are a lot of guys that can make this, market really good. And the thing is, too, the past 2 free agencies haven't really been that stellar. True. When the pitching class last year, what was it? Who wants to go out there and spend money on them guys? So, I don't see any reason that the Red Sox would go out there and spend a bunch of money to get, Alex Cobb or such. So I think that's part of it as well. But, certainly what you're saying does play a lot. Teams are smartening up and they're being more creative in the way that they, construct their roster.
Yeah. And, it's the World Series. It's the 2 big markets. It's okay, here we go. But then again, you look at the whole playoffs, and besides maybe the Braves and, the Astros aren't spending a ton of money, but they all kind of are with the trades they've made with Verlander and stuff. But, it's it was pretty much all big markets except for Milwaukee and Cleveland and, Atlanta. But, so it's
Atlanta's still a big market.
They are, right. But their payroll's not out of control yet. So,
right.
But so, it was it's not really shocking that, 2 big markets made the World Series after all that.
Right. But to go to your point, I know we said this before, but just say it again. We're talking about the Dodgers, this big market, right? It's a team that dumped salary this year.
Right.
Getting Matt Kemp was literally a salary dump for them. That's why they did it. There's salary dumps all there, and it just turned out that, like you said about Max Muncy, it just turned out that Matt Kemp also became the old Matt Kemp again. So, they dumped salary, and a lot of luck came in the way. So, there you go. The LA Dodgers dumped salary.